Guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today will be a little story time of how we met, my version. If you haven't watched Aquarius version, feel free to do so. So, how did we meet? So I'm going to start talking about why I actually came to Germany, where we actually met. So it was 2021, yeah, and I'd come here to pursue my master's degree in finance. And at the time I was dating, but it was long distance. I was dating someone from Australia, but it was long distance. So when I came here, my relationship was a bit complicated, but I was still not looking because I was trying to settle down in a new country, trying to get my grip around. So I was really trying to focus on what brought me here. So fast forward, my relationship didn't really work out because of the distance. So we decided to call it quits, and back in the streets I went. So when I was there, I met a couple of people, but we kind of wanted different things at the same time at the time. So none of them really worked out. And I decided to go back to the streets, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try Tinder. Yes, Tinder. So I went on Tinder, and at the time I was looking for Black women, which was my preference at the time, but there were not as many as I wanted. So I remember this one time, me and my best friend was sitting down, and she was actually helping me find Black girls. So we both set up a Tinder account, and she was swapping right, or not right, but sending me the Black girl profiles, and then I would swipe right. Yeah, it was that bad. So she sends me Aquarius profile, and for me, I was just swiping all of them, just swipe right, and I remember looking at her profile, and it was giving bad girl, tattoos, player, and I was like, you know what? This might be the one. Let's do this. I was not looking for anything serious, so her profile, I think it kind of matched what I wanted. So I immediately swiped right, and when I did, it was an automatic match. So I went ahead real quick and, not wasting any time, and, slid in the DM and just said something. I don't remember what I said. And then we started talking from there, chatting, and, the conversation on Tinder, what's your favorite color, and yada, yada, yada. So fast forward to, we decided to meet up. At the same time, I was talking to other girls on Tinder. So I did meet this one girl, went on a date, it was fine. But I feel like it escalated real quick, because it's really creepy for me when I meet someone and they say they love me on the first or the second date. It's a bit creepy. For me, just red flag. Why do you love me? So I put on a pause on that situation, and me and Aquarius set up a date. She suggested that we meet at a place called Scotch and Soda. At the time, during that weekend, I'd gone out with my friends in Frankfurt, and I had a hangover. So this was on Sunday. I had gone out on Saturday. But I was like, you know what? I told my friend, and I was like, you know what? This might be the one, Let me just give it a chance and go. So I got ready. Before I got ready, I called her, and I was like, hi. So are we still meeting today? And boy, her voice. You like my voice? Anyways, so I called her, and she sounded so sweet on the phone. And I don't know, it was like a fast trap or something. I don't know. So we talked, and she was like, okay, cool, we're gonna meet. So I got ready, looked cute, and because in Frankfurt it was around an hour, and then I got there. I was a bit late, but not too late. I think I was 10 minutes late. So I get there, and I kind of had expectations, but at the same time, Tinder, you can get catfished, and I have been catfished before. So I get there, and I'm looking around, and I see her. She was sitting by the corner, And I was like, okay, she must be the one. So I walk ahead and I say hi, and she was like really kind. So she stood up, and the first thing that I wanted to see is her height, because on her profile she kind of looks short. And no offense, but like my preference is like taller girls than me. So I was like, she's gonna be short. I don't know. But she stood up and I was like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Check. So we sit there, we're talking, and I think one thing that I liked about her was, normally I carry the conversation, but this time it was mutual, like the conversation was going, we're not just talking about how's the weather, but it was like more interesting, it was coming from both sides. Yeah. And then we were sitting there, and I'm just thinking maybe we should take a walk in the park, because I was just feeling at my hangover, like I was really hungover. So I was just like, I think I need some air. How about we go for a walk? And I thought, okay, maybe it's gonna be romantic. And on the way, I remember asking her about her relationship status, and she told me she wasn't seeing anyone. She told me she wasn't seeing anyone at the time, and I was quite honest with her of my relationship status at the time, which I was seeing someone, but it wasn't nothing serious. So just like something casual. So that said, we go ahead, we walk to the park, and we get to this place where it was like a pond, I guess, swamp, a pond, something like that. And I think I suggested that we stand there for a bit and just like watch the birds and the water or something like that. And I remember this one time, we looked at each other and we took a pause. It was like, I don't know, I felt things in my body that I shouldn't have felt. And in my head, I was like, should I kiss her? But I was again, I was like, no, I feel like she's gonna think of me as a thought. So I was like, no, we gotta have some respect. But my body is about to fail me, It felt like a thirst trap. So she was looking at me the same way. She was looking at me the same way. So it was something mutual. But she didn't do anything either. I think she also had the same thing of, it's the first time, I don't want to make these moves or whatever. So we eventually just said goodbye. It was really nice, and I went home. Yes, I go home and tell my best friend about it, and we're excited, because this is what I wanted. So we actually just talked from then on. We didn't really meet until she was supposed to come over. Wait, was she supposed to come over? What happened? You're supposed to come over? I was supposed to come over to her house. But that specific day, we had planned at 7, but she texted me and she was like, she doesn't know if she's gonna make it. I was like, okay, cool. I was really ready to see her. And then she sent me this text saying, I think we were supposed to watch a movie or something, but she was like, I hope nothing weird. What was the text again? I feel like I should read it. It's just like, you can come over, and then you can sleep. Cause you can sleep over. And then she quoted it. She was like, nothing weird. And I was like, girl, if anything, I'm down. So she eventually came for me later that night, and when she came for me, we came to her house, and I was like, okay, this is nice. So we're here chilling, watching, I don't know what we're watching, but we ended up like listening to music, and she's like, let's dance. And I'm like, okay, cool. In my head, I'm just thinking the Kenyan in me was like, twerking, those moves. But she actually meant like romantically dancing. And I was like, okay, cool. So she holds me, and I remember just feeling things in my body, and I was like, okay. Okay. Yeah. So we're dancing, and like, that magical thing of us looking each other in the eye, we're having a good time. Next thing I know, we're kissing, and I throw her on the couch, and yeah. So next day, I think I stayed at her house for a day. For some weird reason, we both can't remember how long I stayed, but maybe it's a day or two after that. And then I eventually went home. And I think from then, things just started escalating, and we were texting more, and it just started becoming something, you know. So, but at the same time, remember, she told me she wasn't seeing someone, but she was. And it ended up like being dramatic. Maybe one day we're gonna talk about it, but let's just say she was seeing someone. And I remember this one time we were walking by the Rhine, and we were honest with each other and our feelings, and we both came to the understanding that we are not ready for a relationship. We don't want a relationship, and that's that. But problem was, I was actually catching feelings for her, and I think she was same thing. Like, I feel like the feeling was mutual, but I think our pride, or I don't know, like we just were like, yeah, I'm not ready for a relationship, knowing very well we were. But honestly, if I think back, at the time I was just from a relationship and I just wanted to have fun. But I really liked her, you know. She was just vibes. She was like, I saw her as someone ideally I would actually get married to. But I didn't tell her that. I think it was pride or something. So fast forward, I go out this one day and I just start crying. And I remember feeling this emotion of, I was hurt. And I was hurt because I was actually catching feelings for her. And that same night that I was out, she was out of town with another girl. So I think that's why I started crying. But just to let it out there, we had actually talked about this, and she had let me know that the girl exists, and she told the girl that I exist. So it was something mutual. And remember that we both of us, we didn't want anything serious. So, but the heart wants what it wants. So I go home, and I remember asking my best friend to give me a pen and paper for me to write my emotions, because I'm a person to like express my feelings. I'm not the type to hold down my feelings. And I was like, you know, I'm ready to put this out. And plus the liquor gives you confidence. So I just sat there and I was trying to write, and you know, I was like, you know what, let me just send a voice note. So I took my phone and I sent a voice note, and in the voice note I was pretty clear, and I said that I didn't want to do this no more because I just didn't know where it was going, and I felt like I liked her a bit too much, and it was just not healthy for me. So it was time for me to cut her off, because she was also not ready to commit. I'm not ready to commit, so let's just call it quits. And I sent that. In the morning, I listened to the voice note. It was not the best voice note, but it delivered the message. And I was kind of proud of myself, you know. So she replied, and she was like, she hears me, she hears me out, something like that. And then that same day, she came to my house. She was like, let's talk about it. And I talked about it, and I was open with my emotions. She was open with her emotions too. So it was kind of something mutual, like we had the same mutual feeling. And we decided, okay, so we're gonna see how this goes. So she cuts the other girl off, and we start this journey together. We still aren't official at the time, but we're just seeing each other. I like it that way, because this way it's like I get to focus on her, she gets to focus on me. We don't have to be official, but at least it's something mutual. So we keep seeing each other. It's great. We're learning a lot about each other. We are literally with each other every single day, you know. We're kind of the same person, so it was like such a good time the whole time. And so fast forward, she goes to America, and I really knew that I wanted like move to the next step. She came back. I asked her to be my girlfriend. I made this whole beautiful, how do we call it?
Arrangement.
So I made this whole beautiful arrangement. It's on our TikTok. You can go and watch it. And she came back and I surprised her and asked her to be my girlfriend. So from then on, we are official, and it's all about like learning about each other. So we moved in together, and yeah, we've been inseparable since. It has been the best experience. Honestly, it's been a whole experience of learning each other, a lot of laughing, a lot of growing emotionally, spiritually too. We pray together, building ourselves too. So we started our our TikTok page. Um, we have had a couple of funs, and we love you so much. Thank you for all the support that you give us. We really appreciate that. And now we have our YouTube channel, Then fast forward, she met my parents. She came for my graduation. She met my parents, and it was just so beautiful to see her with my parents. Them accepting us and loving her so much. It's just a blessing. And her parents and her grandma too. God bless her soul. I love them so much, and we love each other so much. It's just greatness on greatness. So yeah, it's been a beautiful experience, and we are engaged. So recently she proposed to me. I thought we were going to do a photo shoot for our YouTube channel, but turns out it was an engagement. Yeah, so that is how we met. My version. Again, if you haven't watched Aquarius version, feel free to do so. Thank you for the love and the support, and y'all be safe.